Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Power of the Tribe Network. I am Maureen Ryan Blake, and I am your host, and I am thrilled that you're here with me. So we are having a little change in the lineup in the next couple of weeks. We will be wrapping up the celebrity chefs segments that we've been having over the last couple of weeks, and we'll be rolling into the Rising Star Book Club. And with that, I'm so excited. And for some of you that don't know what the Rising Star Book Club is, it's an amazing group that I started to bring authors, of course, aspiring best-selling authors that are coming to us as usually their first interview, which has always made me feel privileged. But I also get to take good care of them and allow them to shine, which is one of my superpowers, because we all have our superpowers, and it's finding out what that is and then leaning in and that's sharing that with the world. With that being said, today's episode, we're coming to a celebration. As you can see, I have shiny diamonds on it, everything, because today is New Year's Eve. Yes, we're celebrating it early. And I'll be moving in the next couple of weeks, and that's part of it. Yes, I'm moving. I'm moving from sunny San Diego to Little Rock, Arkansas, and in about 25 days. So we're talking change. We are talking celebration. We're also talking about saying goodbye to 2020 and so many other things, and embracing the change that's coming in 2021. And so in this episode, I couldn't think of anyone more filled with love, with just fest and just a little bit of sexiness with Wendy Lane, the Sexy Chef Wendy. Ooh, all right. And my goodness, this is going to be a great episode. So I'm going to take that to you. And then at the end, I have a surprise that I want to share with you, a gift, because we're starting to get into the giving season. And oh God, I want to spoil you, because I am always thrilled to have you and grateful that you follow me and we stand and share together. And that's the message of the Power of the Tribe Network. Here's Wendy Lane. So happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Woo! Everybody. You're kidding, right, Wendy? All right, let me introduce you first, because you need to be introduced. This is Sexy Chef Wendy, or Chef Wendy Lane, who I happen to call my friend. And we're in the kitchen today, and Wendy's been cooking since she was 16. And her mom's a chef, and then she moved to Hawaii, and then was able to add more flavors to her food and round that out. And now she has her own condiment line, and she cooks for people and makes romance happen as part of her cooking. So her heart is so big and living through generosity, and we're gonna have fun. I can't wait to. So Wendy, take it away. What are we having today?
Hi, well, again, thanks for having me. I love what you talked about at the beginning. We have to live with passion. That is my motto. If you don't live with passion, you know, you're not living life. So you have to love what you're doing. And if you love it, it's seamless, it's easy, it's fun. So
you gotta have fun, right?
Yeah, life has to be fun. You know, you gotta wake up. You have to wake up with a positive attitude every day. And, you know, be your own advocate. But I am Sexy Chef, and I do promote love and rekindle relationships through cooking. So that's always been my love and passion. You know, food and love and sex, they all are like the same. It's a necessity. We have to have love and we have to have food. And both, you know, love and food entice all of your senses. So I just like to marry that together and make the kitchen fun and easy. All of my dishes are, you know, a little bit gourmet, but they're quick and easy and fun and sexy and interactive.
So anyone can do this on New Year's Eve or any other day, right?
Yes, and I chose Virginia filet mignon with shiitake and portobello mushroom reduced in a little bit of red wine cream sauce. It sounds really extravagant, but it's super easy and kind of clean to cook. And I thought about after Christmas and all the holidays and Thanksgiving, everything's so complicated. So even though it sounds fancy, I just want something really simple and easy to clean up and sexy and fun for you to share with your beloved or your partner or whoever you're with. So,
Or even yourself, right? Because don't we get to take care of ourselves too?
if it's just yourself, of course. Well, haven't we all had to do that this last year? I know I've been by myself in this new world. So it's okay to treat yourself, even though a lot of us have been in quarantine or had to stay home. I made a vow to myself, every day to get up and just act accordingly, like everything is the same, and still create beautiful food and videos and all the fun things that I love to do. So yes, it's great to treat yourself. We're going to do a really easy tricolor sweet peppers. Just put them on the wok and flash them. They'll be a little bit brown, and they're crisp and sweet. And then a simple hearts of romaine salad with pomegranate seeds. So it'll be fun.
Great. And so people don't know that the pomegranate, they actually, a lot of times it's a holiday fruit that it ripens late in the season. So it's red and just so beautiful. And it's part of the holidays, almost like a gift.
It is. So I just look at it. They're beautiful. I just slice them. I slice them in little like wedges almost. You can just pop them out and eat them because they're so colorful and pretty. And it's another food that if you're with someone, you can easily pick them out and you can share with each other. That is my whole philosophy and motto around cooking. I mean, it's really a time when you're cooking or breaking bread with somebody, you're sharing, you become intimate. And it doesn't have to be necessarily romantic. It could be if you were in my kitchen as my friend, we start to just, kind of let everything go and talk about the food. And then we just start naturally connecting. So it's really, food is a beautiful way for people to connect.
I agree. The whole and especially this year with people actually not being able to come together. This was one of the driving forces behind this series we get to come together then in this way, and we get to share our food, even though we might not be at the same table.
Very true. Thank goodness for Zoom. So all of that aside, yes. And by the way, I've been cooking since I'm gonna correct you, way before 16. Pretty much since I was born, I've been cooking. So I grew up with gourmet chefs. I grew up basically a garden to table, lots of fresh food. And it all should be, kind of simple and fun and easy.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. I know you've been a supermodel and always been in front of cameras. And tell us what's the Wendy story? What's Sexy Chef Wendy's story?
Well, my Sexy Chef, like I said, is about love. It's really about love and food. So I took my two passions, which you started out with, which I loved how you started out the segment, and I married them together. The two things that I feel that I'm really good at, and cooking, and I've been in front of a camera as a model since I was a kid. Both I started very young, and it wasn't, the cooking was the irony is I was always very, very shy, extremely shy, and my mother and grandmother were cooks, and I was in the kitchen with them all the time, which sort of brought me out. And my mother taught me a lot about life through cooking in the kitchen, sitting on the countertops and, watching her and going out to our garden and picking fresh figs and kumquats and vegetables and herbs and just learning intuitively how to cook. And then ironically, I got thrown in front of the camera. I was scouted out as a young girl, and I started modeling. And I always thought it was funny because I was like really a shy person, but I felt like I connected with those two things, the camera and food. So hence was the birth of Sexy Chef. And it came after we talked about earlier, we both have beautiful children. I have 4 that I've raised. I still have 1 at home. And so it sort of came as they were growing up. I put the idea together and created the brand. And then I've had catering businesses in Los Angeles. I've, done massive film shoots to private dinners to tastings. And then I have a YouTube station and a big social media, videos and TikTok, all that stuff that I do to promote my message, which I'll always go back to is love, and my products that I've created, through the years through Sexy Chef. I have a really wonderful carrot-based habanero mash hot sauce that I've been promoting for years, along with a chocolate strawberry balsamic.
And I love that deep down inside, you're such an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Always just keep growing and learning and moving forward and adapting. And I love that because, we're entrepreneurs and we get to change the world, right?
We are, it's like I used to say I'm either crazy or I'm a genius. I'm not sure which one, but I wouldn't live any other way. I wouldn't know how to sit in an office. I wouldn't know what to do. So I love if you're able to open up your mind and be expansive and use your creativity, which every one of us has. I'm not any different or special than anybody else. I just tapped into it very early, very intuitive, and I follow my dreams. And it doesn't always make sense to everybody else, but it makes sense to me, and it's fun. And I love to make other people happy. I love to share the journey. That's probably the best part of it.
I love that. And then you very well fit here in the tribe. So, okay. So what are we cooking? Let's see this. Can't wait.
So I guess I should have probably got this going while we were talking, but I'm going to turn up the heat. So I've moved so many times. This is probably my sixth kitchen in the last 7 years, but I have a gas stove, which I've always said I could never cook on a gas stove, but now they make them really well. So don't let it intimidate you if you don't have a chef gas stove, because I am a chef and I do not have one. Sorry, I'm going to step off for a second.
Okay.
So I'm just going to heat up this pan. We're going to do a portobello and shiitake, in case you don't know. Sorry, I don't have cameras above. But shiitake mushrooms are these little, you can get them at Farmer's Market or Trader Joe's. We have that on the West Coast. I don't know, back east, or portobello mushrooms. And honestly, the portobello mushroom is, I call it the steak of mushrooms. It's very hearty and thick. For two people, you could use one.
Okay.
And shiitake mushrooms, you could just slice up a few of them. So I already sliced them up. And just to give you an idea, this is one.
Wow.
And so I'm going to let this heat up a little bit. I have a nonstick pan, a Winco nonstick pan. Always have a squirt bottle of olive oil. You got to have them with you everywhere, all the time when you're cooking. So as that heats up, I'm just going to let the pan heat up. We'll just add a little bit of olive oil. And I think the biggest challenge for chefs, for myself, is measuring. I've never really measured. I would guess that was probably about a half a tablespoon that I just squirted in there. You don't want to.
What's very funny is that chefs don't measure, bakers measure, chefs don't measure. So that's right. That's just how that is.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to say about the portobello mushrooms too. So I'm just going to let it heat up. I have it on high. You don't want to flood it, with olive oil. You don't want it to be soggy, but portobello mushrooms suck it up pretty fast.
Okay.
So other mushrooms you wouldn't use quite as much, but I'm just letting it there. I can hear it starting to heat up.
Okay.
Can you see that pan?
Yep. We're seeing like a half of it.
Okay.
So normally, when you're not spending New Year's Eve with us, what would be a typical New Year's Eve for you?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. This last New Year's, I was in Hawaii. My family's in Maui. So I was there and just had dinner with my family. And I actually watched a hula dancer at the Andes Hotel. It was really fun. He just randomly came out to the pool and danced. I love that. I love being in the tropical, heat for New Year's Eve, and watch some fireworks. And that was it. Pretty simple. And other New Year's Eve, I cooked for other people. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So this is
actually,
normal for you for New Year's Eve is cooking.
pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Well, there we go then.
One day, maybe someone will cook for me, but yes. So you can kind of hear this.
They were hearing them. Yes, the sizzling.
So the portobello mushrooms are heating up. I'm going to let those get pretty, warm, and let the olive oil, add a little bit of olive oil. You just have to sort of look at it. You just add probably about, maybe a quarter teaspoon at a time, because you don't want it to get soggy. But portobello mushrooms really suck it up. And depending on your preference, some people like it really crispy, which I do. But some people prefer it a little bit more, soft. So that's just really your preference. If you want it crispy, it's probably like 15 minutes. And then the shiitake mushrooms, which are super healthy, by the way. They're really strong antioxidant. One of the healthiest mushrooms you can eat. So you add that in, and we're gonna add butter later, but one of the big mistakes people make with mushrooms is they put butter in right away. And how they're really soggy?
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So you just keep them really crisp with the olive oil.
Yeah.
And again, just add a little bit in at a time.
And you're definitely saying it's on a little bit of a higher flame.
What?
It's on a higher flame, right?
Yes. Okay. I've got it. So if you have a gas stove, have it a higher flame. I have it in a non-stick pan. You can't, when you have a high flame going and you're cooking mushrooms or anything, you can't walk away from it.
No.
So make sure I use a wood spoon. Make sure you just constantly are moving it around. If you have to walk away from it, it's completely fine. Turn the flame down to super low. You can come back later and kick it back up. If you want to prepare this ahead of time, have it, half cooked, turn the flame down. Don't add the butter until the very, very last second, and you add just a tiny bit of butter.
Okay. I see the
never walk away from your flame. Unless it's a cute guy. You don't want to walk away from that kind of flame. Hopefully you catch that. So I think one of the things with cooking that I like to tell people is, sometimes you feel like you have to have so much, but you don't really. Like, we just used one portobello mushroom and 3 shiitakes. That was it.
Not a lot. I couldn't believe how much was coming from that one big portobello.
Yeah, and I think, especially like that's probably the biggest challenge for people is portions, And honestly, because we're doing several things, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to feel weighed down. You want to feel fun and sexy for New Year's Eve. So afterwards you can go dancing or do whatever you want to do. Right? Run on the beach, if you're in Maui. So I just thought, letting that cook, I'm going to turn it down a bit because this whole meal that I'm preparing, we could do it in about 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to cook a filet mignon, 2 of them, filet mignon. And I have this grill that you just put straight on the top, the stove top.
Can you throw that in the dishwasher when you're done, or do you just wipe it down?
No, I just wipe it down.
Okay.
So it's cast iron.
It's cast iron. Okay.
And I like this. It's just a flat grill. It's too hot to grill outside in Arizona a lot, so that's where I am. Sometimes, this is just easier, and it gives you the nice marks. And whenever you're using cast iron, which I use for the mushrooms as well too, you could do that. Just stay with it. Don't walk away from them. But with the cast iron, no, you want to keep the flavor in it. So when I'm done, you let it completely cool down, and you take olive oil and just wipe it down. It comes right off.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, and the nice thing about cast iron is it's like an old friend. The longer you have it, the better it becomes. It tastes, everything tastes delicious. Cast iron's really wonderful, and just never wash it with soap. You don't want to use soap flavor into that.
Yeah. No. Well, they said that's they used to call that seasoned, right? Where over the years it just get better and better.
It's pre-seasoned, but you can. It's like I said, it's like an old friend. It's like a great pair of shoes or something. You've worn for a long time. It becomes a part of you, and whatever food. But you just want to make sure, like with woks, and cast iron. Do not use soap.
A wok too. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So the mushrooms, we've been here about what, 7-8 minutes. They're pretty much close to done.
Yeah. They look flavorful.
Keep letting those cook, and I kicked up the heat, and I got two beautiful, for you and I, Maureen, two beautiful fillets.
I love filet mignon.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
It is the king. So again, I'm just gonna I put a little bit of olive oil,
Mm-hmm.
rub it in on each side.
Okay.
And this is like, well, I catered quite a bit. This is definitely a caterer, and a kitchen chef's trick. Get a squirt bottle.
I love the squirt bottle.
Yes, you will save so much of your product if you do that. Because it keeps it in control. This doesn't. You're able to control it.
And it's not contaminating either, because it's all sealed and you only use what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper, because we're going to add some cream sauce to that. It'll be very flavorful. So I have pink Himalayan sea salt, which I just prefer, and some cracked black pepper, and just going to lightly season those sides. You just pinch, this little pinch. That's the other thing about seasoning. You can always add later. So with salt, I urge people to just add a little bit at a time. That's something that you can put on the tabletop, or because you can't take away salt. You can always add it. You can't take it away.
But the whole thing that can you lean in a little bit about when it comes to meat and searing them, and why seasoning it with salt is so crucial for bringing out its flavor?
Yes, well, ideally I would have done this a little bit earlier, and I season my meat, in the beginning of the evening, and set it aside, because it does bring out the flavor. You salt both sides, and let it, you can let it sit, put it in the fridge. And for me, I eat my meat black and blue.
Okay.
So it's not going to sit on here very long. So that's another reason why you want to flavor it before, so the flavor goes into the meat. It tenderizes it. It makes it, softer, juicier.
Okay.
So yeah, while the mushrooms they're now pretty much reducing down, I just want to add a little bit of butter. I'm letting the stovetop heat up right now for our meat. So, a stick of butter is usually about 8 teaspoons. So I just cut them up.
Okay.
About 1 teaspoon. And that's a pretty generous amount. I'm going to throw it in with the mushrooms.
Okay.
And again, make sure you do that at the end, because we don't want it to be overly buttery or soggy or anything like that. But that butter taste is always nice. Can you hear that?
Yes, and it's going to taste great over the steak. Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to turn the heat down so it doesn't burn. It's got a nice little brown tinge to it. And this is the only thing I'm going to say with the electric is, the heat it's a little bit, you have to control it a little bit more yourself, rather than gas is kind of nicer, but I'm not going to complain. No.
It's going to be delicious anyway. Oh, so what are you pouring in there now?
Okay, so I'm pouring in a little bit of red wine.
Okay.
I'm gonna let it cool down, because I don't want to steam us up completely. I don't want to steam up the room.
Oh, okay.
Getting hot and heavy in here, Maureen. So I'm gonna let that cool down.
After all.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
We get to celebrate.
Exactly. So I'm just waiting for this to heat up, because as I was talking to her, I realized I hit the back burner, the wrong one. So I'm going to let that heat up.
Okay.
And as we're letting this, so you turn the mushrooms down after they're a little bit crispy. You add the butter, and then turn the heat way down to low. Now the butter and olive oil are going to just like melt into that. And at the end, I'm going to add a little bit of salt, because again, you don't want to be overly salted in your food.
You can't take it back.
Can't take it back.
Yeah, yeah. So when you moved to Hawaii, what flavors were added to your cooking that weren't there before? Because you grew up in California, right?
I've been everywhere. Arizona, California, and Hawaii. So I, my mother was, I would say, very progressive, actually, because as a young girl, I was already eating all the foods that we're talking about now that are super popular. I mean, we had fig trees, apricot, grape, kumquats, every kind of fruit and vegetable that you can imagine planted, every herb. And Hawaii, because it's tropical, the South Pacific flavoring is the curry's a little bit different. We use Thai basil, lemongrass, coconut, mango. It's just has a different, a little bit of a different, like Thai basil is anything that I would cook with regular Italian basil, I'll use Thai basil. It translates different, but you can use it, like I put it in my turkey meatballs, Thai basil. It's amazing. It does give it a little bit of that South Pacific different flavor. Lemongrass as well. And lemongrass grows like weeds. Right. And very fragrant. It tastes amazing. You're familiar with it when you've had Thai food. You've always had it in Thai food. A lot of things that I use, people said I've never had it, but they have. They just didn't know what that flavor was. Right. Okay. So I'm going to throw the filet.
Perfect. I can see it searing.
Okay. Now it's ready. You can hear it.
Yep.
All right. We've got the mushrooms completely turned down. And I love the creme fraiche at Trader Joe's. It's my favorite.
What is it?
Creme fraiche. Okay. So I use creme fraiche as it's a cream. It's a French term, or French cream. I use it to make the sauce rather than like a heavy, whipping cream.
Can you show us that? I've never used that before.
Oh, you never used creme fraiche?
No. So I'm learning something new. I love that.
The creme fraiche is very wish you were here and I could have you taste it, but it's got a nice thickness to it, so you don't have to add thickening.
Okay.
Really delicious. I make a great appetizer on these new potatoes. I put a dollop on with caviar and salmon. It's delicious. Oh. You have that creamy and salty and savory flavor. So,
but yet it's smooth like.
So I've had this cream. Pardon me?
It's smooth like fresh cream though. The flavor, it's light, like smooth, like
it is. It has a little bit of a richer, bold flavor to it. Okay. So I'm gonna throw in
I gotta check this out, Wendy.
Creme fraiche will be your new best friend.
All right.
It's fantastic. So I have the heat completely turned off on the mushrooms. The pan is still warm, and I add the creme fraiche.
And is that in it's in the cold section in Trader Joe's, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's usually around where the milk and butter is.
Yeah. Okay. And so
I guess a lot of people don't use creme fraiche.
I've never known about it.
There is in the Mexican markets, they have a version of it as well. They use it quite a bit, in a big container.
Okay.
So I have completely turned the heat off the pan because the pan is still pretty warm.
Oh, look at it all coming together already. Oh my goodness. Yummy. Yeah.
We have our mushroom sauce almost there.
And then the
filet,
they gave it
the filet is pretty much done. So I'm going to turn the heat off of that as well because also you have to remember, you don't just pull it off and cut it because it continues to cook. So that's why I also do it black and blue. I like it pretty much rare inside, but you want to let it cool down and then just set it aside because it'll continue to cook and the flavors will infuse. Okay. So after that, now the creme fraiche, and if you want it super creamy, you can add more. I did 2 tablespoons, and I had poured a little bit of red wine in there earlier. Did I say that to you?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had said that. There's one other item that I don't have out. I'm gonna go grab it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, it's brown sugar. So, brown sugar is my favorite. You want to add a little bit of something to everything. Add a little bit of brown sugar. So
Okay.
I'm taking like a pinch out of my hand, and I'm just throwing in. And if I were to measure it, I would say again probably about a teaspoon.
Okay.
Okay. So
This is the wow factor.
that's the wow factor.
Okay.
The brown sugar makes it, so again, you have like the savory, creamy, and sweet. And then I'm just going to throw a little bit of fresh rosemary. I'm just going to pick it right off the spray. And not a lot, because it's a very powerful herb, just a little bit. Like, 2 or 3 little pieces. And then we'll use that later on the plating. So yeah, the meat's already done. I'm going to put it over here on a cutting board.
Okay.
We're not going to cut the filet because, this is 1 serving. But as you can see.
Perfect.
So that was very quick.
Yeah.
Where's my camera crew? And then last but not least, I love these tricolor sweet peppers. Do you ever cook with these?
I didn't know what to do with them.
They're
I've
so
seen
good.
them in the store and they looked so yummy, but I didn't know what to do with them.
So we have our steak, and then we have this yummy, bold, delicious cream sauce, red wine cream sauce. Now we're going to add just a little bit of sweet. And when I say sweet, it's not like sugar sweet, but it's not, it's got a real subtle, beautiful, sweet flavor to it.
And you're adding color.
And the color, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're making our food sexy now, right?
Oh yeah, no, you're accessorizing it.
We
So these are in the sweet pepper family, even though they're tiny. They're not like in the chili family.
No, they're
Okay.
not in the chili.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see them. You usually see them like in a bag.
Yes.
Have them in a bag, and they have all the different.
And they look
colors.
so pretty.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah, they're really
good
are.
raw. You could thinly slice them, but so I absolutely love cooking with a wok.
And I don't have a wok, so
I guess that's also from my Hawaii upbringing.
okay.
Everything. I mean, if someone said to me, "What is the one pan you want?" The one, it would be a wok, and a wood spoon. As a chef, that I could cook everything. I've cooked everything in this. I've cooked meatballs, steak. I've done quesadillas in it. Everyone thinks it's just for Asian cooking, but it's not. It's just because the way it's shaped, it comes up high and you have even heat. And I prefer the nonstick one. It is a pan that I suggest you don't buy the cheap one.
Right.
Because you'll have it forever.
Okay.
Don't chintz on it.
Oh, and that's why you have your wood spoon, so this way you don't damage it.
So yes.
Okay.
Wood spoon or the plastic ones. People, if you're going to have a nonstick pan, do not scrape it with metal. Do not. It actually ruins the bottom and it releases chemicals that you don't want to be eating. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you are, taking care of these pans. And if you don't have to have a lot. If you invest in just a few good pieces, like the one that I did in the mushrooms is a Winco, fantastic. A lot of chefs use it. And then the woks are just, a good wok, you're going to spend about $80 to $100.
Okay.
But you'll have it forever.
Right.
And you can, like I said, you could see me walking down the street. If I didn't have anywhere to go, I'd be carrying my wok. I got my wok. I'm a chef. I can cook.
And your spoon.
So it's heating up as well. And a little bit of olive oil again. A trick that I think you love. This new trick.
I love it. Yep.
I'm waiting for my stove.
My list now: a wok, and I also like the cast iron little grill. So yeah.
I picked that up. I picked up that one So I just throw that in. It's not ready. When I hear the sound, I'll know it's ready. But I picked up that little grill at like a discount store. I just literally walked by. It was sitting there by itself. This little cast iron grill, and because it's like I said, it's sometimes too hot in Arizona to go outside. And I was like, wow, and I absolutely love it. And
So you gave it a home. It was lonely and all by itself.
Needed Sexy Chef. And you saw how fast we cooked that steak.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and it gave it those lines that made it beautiful. That wouldn't be the same if they weren't there.
Exactly. So I don't know what's going on. Why are we not heating up? It's because we're on camera. It doesn't want to. So technically, if we weren't filming right now, I'd be doing all this at the same time, and we would have our dinner done in about 12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I'm showing you, so it's taking us a little bit longer. But I just put a tiny bit of olive oil, again with the squirt bottle, just one squirt. It's probably like a quarter of a teaspoon, just a little bit, just to coat the bottom.
Okay.
That's it. So, sorry, I'm having stovetop issues.
So how do you like Arizona?
Parts of Arizona don't have gas. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's newer, a lot of Arizona, right?
yeah, I guess. I just think it's funny because I remember when I first came here a while ago, they had just the induction oven, and only pans that have metal on the bottom for the cast iron work.
Okay.
I almost had a breakdown.
You're like, well, why isn't it working?
Like, wait, what's happening here? So, and then I was, a little confused that there's no gas, but it's okay. You just have to learn. You just have to learn how to, to do it. So, it takes a little bit more control. But nowadays, I think they're made a little bit better. So as that's heating up, I'm gonna let that heat up. We'll go ahead and start the plating while that's heating up. Okay. So you're gonna see the filet and the mushrooms. I wish you were here. They're just perfect. But as you see, it's all brown, so we're gonna make that look pretty as well. One other, if I were to say a wok, a wood spoon, and kitchen scissors. I've had these same kitchen scissors for 20 years.
Okay, I don't have kitchen scissors either. Okay.
Everything, literally everything. So I just cut that little.
And just absolutely perfect.
Can you see?
Yep, beautiful.
So I just cut a little of the rosemary, put it on top. It's mostly just for the plating, it looks pretty. It smells good, it's fragrant, and it's, because you have meat and then mushrooms, it's all kind of brown, so you want to make it look a little bit colorful.
Your pumpkin came into the shot.
He did?
Yeah.
One of them. Oh, yeah, my chef dogs. They eat everything.
Every home needs a dog.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So as the wok's heating up, I'm just gonna throw.
And you just throw.
I put like a handful of peppers. Okay,
oh.
Just
how
a handful.
Easy. Yep.
Is he in here? So you just throw them in the wok.
Easy.
The nice thing about the wok too is it's really hard to screw up.
Okay.
Like really hard. Okay. So you can let it sit in there, for quite a while, and you can walk away and, oh my gosh, I burned it. And you come back, you're like, it's perfect. So it's just really, a handy, a must in a kitchen.
Okay. I'm putting it on my list.
And everything I cooked, I could technically have done the steak in there, but I like to have the marks on the steak, but we could have done the mushrooms in here as well. So I'm going to let that heat up because I did the wrong top. But I also wanted to show you, this is something you're in California, so you're used to pomegranates, but I like to use exotic fruits on my salads, and the pomegranates right now that just, have come into season, and they're so great for the holiday. I just took hearts of romaine, and when you lay them out, it's pretty logical. But if you want to make them look pretty, make sure they're all facing the same way.
Okay.
It's just a plating thing. It looks better. And I literally just cut the pomegranate in wedges. So a lot of people, get confused about pomegranate. And I'll come back to the salad in a minute because I have an amazing dressing for it. A lot of people get confused about pomegranate. What do I do with it? How do I cut it? How do I eat it?
Sure.
I mean, you could just slice it down the middle, pop it open and eat it. I just have always, it's sort of a unique style of mine, but I make the wedges because from that wedge, you can pick it up and just pop it out in your mouth or easily take it out. And it looks so pretty. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I take a big serrated chef knife and I cut it in half first. And they're all pretty inside. They look like a star kind of, right?
Yeah, so pretty.
A little decoration. And I just, make a wedge. And you can do them thick or thin, however you want. But it's a really easy, and a serrated knife helps because, the skin on a pomegranate is a little bit rough.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so that's,
pretty.
literally, you can eat it with ice cream. You could put it on your salad plate. You could put it with the steak, whatever you want.
I bet you could even serve that with like at a breakfast with like pancakes or something, giving it just that little color or in your oatmeal or whatever.
Anything, it's like some fruits I feel like they get passed up. People don't realize how good they are. Like a persimmon. I can never say that. They're orange and they are absolutely beautiful, and they're in season now as well. And they only come around part of the year.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one?
No.
Persimmon. Can you say that 10 times?
No.
Please don't make me spell it. But they're orange. They look like, people are like, is that a tomato? And a lot of, people that have been in my kitchen, I'll pick it up and I'll slice it just like that. And when you slice it and open it, it looks like a sand dollar, but it's all orange.
Ooh, okay.
It has those same markings in it, or like a star. And it's like you're eating an apple, but it has like a slight sweet taste to it. Really fun. And you shouldn't, for me, there's like no rules in the kitchen. You can add fruit with meat. You can have it at dessert. You can have it with your breakfast. It doesn't matter because you want to get all of those senses. You want sweet, savory, creamy, salty.
Well, that's the true trained chef is coming out when you're doing the balance of flavors. So that's fabulous. Yes. And you know what else I'm seeing? Everything you're cooking is really healthy.
It is.
Yeah.
And I would say that was that's my upbringing. That's learning to cook literally from the garden to the table. We never heavily salted food. We use everything fresh herbs. Fruits and vegetables. There's so much flavor already in food. It's so beautiful. And I think, learning to cook that way it makes my cooking style just different and unique. Just, I have never relied on other things to flavor my food unless it was natural. A little bit of salt, the Himalayan sea salt I like it's in just a little bit, just to bring up the flavor a tad.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I always have brown sugar in my back pocket.
Oh, it's interesting. I like that. Okay.
I add brown sugar too. I also, a lot of times will put it when I'm marinating the meat, the filet. I'll salt and pepper and I'll just put brown sugar and olive oil and let it sit overnight and then cook it. And it tenderizes it and it gives it a slightly sweet flavor. It's fabulous. It's amazing.
Okay.
And the brown sugar, this is another little trick I'll tell everybody. Brown sugar, when you open it up and you leave it out and it's hard as a rock.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got to throw it out. All you have to do is take a bread, any piece of bread. And stick it in. Like I have bread inside of here. Stick it in, seal it, and within an hour or two, it'll all be completely soft.
So what does it absorb the moisture from it?
I'll have to ask the chemist.
Okay. But I love that.
Yes, it's obviously, there's yeast in the bread, and I think it softens it. It softens it up. It's mind blowing. You could take like it could be rock hard, like you could hit it against the window to break, and then you take that and you put it with bread, and it's a great trick because everything. It's not, it's just you don't want to have to go run out and buy brown sugar all the time. So the peppers now they've only been, once I got the heat up, a few minutes. They're already starting to open up. And you can already see, I'm going to lift one up for you.
What?
There's a little bit of brown.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
And it's opening up. So with peppers, the longer you cook them, if you put them in the broiler or you grill them, they get softer, but they get sweeter. So that's the same with these. So if you want them a little bit sweeter and softer, you just keep letting them cook. This little guy is already getting brown on him.
Mm-hmm. So pretty.
And it's gently doing it in the wok. It's not
How easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you stick it with the broilers, I don't know about you, but I'll do that. And then I'll go, I won't forget. And I walk off and I come back like, 45 minutes later. Oh, they're completely black. I mean, you can peel the skin off and they're still good, but you kind of can get the same effect with this. And it's up to you. You can see, okay, I'm done with that. I already like it. It looks good.
And there's no cleaning.
No cleaning.
Fabulous.
Have you noticed that about everything we've made? I was going to bring that up.
Huge.
Yes.
Yeah. Love it.
So all we did, we have about I'd say that was about probably about a 5 ounce fillet.
It's perfect size. Yep.
We use 1 quarter bowl of mushroom.
Look at the colors on that. I love it.
And that's a perfect.
It's a perfect meal.
You don't need more.
No.
And then you don't have to clean up all the big leftovers and blah blah blah. You could go have fun. You can go and drink your champagne. You could dance. You can go out because you had a really, really wonderful meal. And
because you need to eat right, but you need to eat right.
Yes.
Love it.
Absolutely. You need all of that food is healthy. You'll feel satisfied. You'll feel good, energetic. And that's what it's meant for.
Yeah.
And I mean, people tell me always, how are you, chef? You're skinny. I'm not skinny, but I'm like, it's because I eat like this. And this is the way I eat. I grew up like this. And yes. I mean, I exercise and all those kinds of things, but food is supposed to make you feel alive and energetic. It's not supposed to make you feel weighed down. You can hear that now because I'm letting it cook longer, and you'll see pieces as we let it go longer. But and the salad, it's just I like to put it on one plate. And you could be sharing with someone. You could literally pick it up and eat it like that.
Okay.
The dressing for that.
Okay, here we go. You got to show us.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. So the dressing is so easy, it's ridiculous. So I call this like my cheaters to Caesar dressing. It has the same delicious taste to it, but it's not complicated, and there's no raw eggs in it or anything like that. Okay, so it's so easy you're not even gonna believe it. So just mayonnaise. So mayonnaise already has eggs in it.
Eggs in it, yep.
Flavor, right? So I'm just going to take like a couple of teaspoons. And that was like 2 heads of romaine that I showed you. And just, peel down to the hearts. Cut the bottom and peel down to the heart. So like there's like this. And you just cut it.
And open it up. Okay.
You cut it and you open it up. Like I said, if you lay the leaves down, and don't have them like this, have them in the same direction. I mean, you can, it doesn't matter, but it just looks prettier. So now I'm gonna take my olive oil and add I'd say another teaspoon. Believe me, this is so easy. And then lemons. I probably eat a lemon a day myself. I put it in my water. I make celery juice every day. I use it in everything. Fresh lemon.
Did you hear about that the first thing when you wake up in the morning, obviously you hydrate by drinking water, but if you actually drink lemon or lime water, it detoxifies the body and
Yes.
boosts your energy. I do it every morning.
I do too. I do that, and I juice. So I do celery juice every single morning with lemon and an apple.
Okay.
So I start with the water, like you said, because it helps your heart and everything. It gets you going. It's super healthy. So, and then this is just a lemon,
I have one of those.
Okay.
And that color too. I have the exact same
We're
one.
going to add this to the list if we have to have this too with our walk. We need this. Especially, so, you just squeeze the lemon, half a lemon.
Okay.
You can do a whole lemon if you want, depending on how lemony you like it.
Right.
But, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yes, and it's like one of my little secrets. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil, but the combination of those three is just perfection. And you just whip it. Just whip it with a fork.
Right.
I love it because people are like, oh my gosh, that dressing, it's so, how did you make it? What's in it? It's like all the things that people say that about things that I make, it's the easiest. It's not complicated, It's just knowing how to combine it. Because you already have, mayonnaise already has so much flavor to it anyway.
Yeah.
So that is it. And
that's it.
Again, okay. I'd probably maybe add a little bit more lemon, but that's it. And it is absolutely divine. And then I'm just going to drizzle.
Okay.
It on top. And you know what I do also, because everyone loves this so much, just leave a little bit of it on the side so they can dip it in.
Now, could you throw capers or herbs in that, right? To change it?
Of course. You could you could take little capers in the wok, put a little bit of olive oil and fry them. They'll fry really quick in the wok. Fried capers are great. Then you fry them, on a high heat for like maybe 5-6 minutes. You pull them out and then wipe them down. And those would be fabulous over this.
Okay. Well, let me see what this looks like, Wendy. Oh, delicious. So simple. Ta-da.
So there we go.
And now we have our New Year's Eve meal.
Yes. I'm going to cut the filet so you can see how rare I like it. But, with meats, like I said, I think people get nervous. They have to, it's not going to be cooked enough. But you have to remember it continues to cook as you take it off.
Right.
And if you want meat to taste really fantastic, you never want to eat it straight off. You want to take it off, let it cool down a little bit, and then you can slice it. But this is honestly, I put it on here as we were talking, it was probably just a few minutes, and you can see the inside is perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so everybody, and Wendy, can you show everybody your hot sauce and also your what is the
balsamic, and that's something else I was saying. I told you earlier and I didn't do, but you could throw this easily. It's a chocolate strawberry balsamic. It's it's a dark Modena balsamic, so it's a really fine, beautiful dark balsamic. And I infused the fresh strawberry juice and cacao powder, French cacao powder. So again, it's
good for you.
It is, and some people are like, what do I do with this? But I've cooked with the mushrooms and steak. I've added my hot sauce. I combine them to make a chocolate mole, which is, just a little dollop like underneath the fillet is fantastic. And that's super easy because, I love mole. Mole is beautiful to make, but it takes hours. But, you could just literally take the chocolate balsamic and my carrot-based habanero mash, fermented habanero hot sauce has key lime and garlic, no vinegar. It's got a nice little
I gotta
kick
get
to
my
it.
hands on your hot sauce. That's for
I
sure.
know. I'll send you some.
So okay, so now where
So
can
you
people
just,
find
I
these?
just right there. I made a spicy chocolate Malay sauce.
Look at it.
And again, you could just, drizzle it right over the mushrooms. And it just has a real sexy flavor to it. It's fantastic. The chocolate strawberry balsamic is fantastic as well with like cheese, like a creamy triple brie. I put it on a ginger snap cracker with a fresh mint and strawberry, and a triple brie cheese, and I drizzle the balsamic over it. It's really, again, sweet, savory, spicy, sexy, fun.
Where can people pick up these the balsamic the balsamic chocolate vinegar as well as the hot sauce?
It's okay. It's hard to say. I know.
Is it chocolate strawberry balsamic?
Chocolate strawberry balsamic.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
just, I think people just don't compute that together. It sounds strange, but if you think about like fig, you've had fig balsamics. It's same kind of thing. It's got like, it's not too sweet either. It's not like super chocolatey or anything like that. But you can go onto my website. You can literally find Sexy Chef Wendy everywhere, and I have a link tree that takes you straight to the product. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're wherever you are, if you just want to Google it or go to sexychefwendy.com. I am really excited because we just opened. It's been about a month now, an iCloud kitchen now for delivery in Arizona. So you can find me on all of the, Grubhub, Uber Eats, all of the Postmates, all of the sites. We can deliver my special, I call it my South Pacific comfort food. And you can also order, when you order food, you can order either one of those products and it'll be delivered with your food.
I love this. I love Wendy. It was such a delight spending New Year's with you. And so I have to tell everyone, I don't know if you know this, but here's my audience now. If you want to win a chance to come on the show, go and register we have a contest, and one lucky winner will win once a month for our then big show when we get to bring everybody on. So go to thepowerofthetribe.com/TV and register. And then you know what? We know how to have fun on the Power of the Tribe, right, Wendy?
We do. It's all about fun. It's all about following your passion and supporting each other.
Absolutely.
Supporting each other in all of our endeavors.
And leading from generosity, right?
100%.
Happy New Year's, my dear friend, and I'm looking forward to seeing 2020. And okay, everybody, stay safe. Don't drink and drive.
I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, was she just fabulous? And did that put a little extra zest into your day? I love that. Obviously, Wendy's a beautiful woman, and her whole perspective on that she gets to share her gift of cooking with being a beautiful, magnificent woman and showing you how to be full of love and bringing that extra spice back into your life through cooking and just a little bit of sexy lingerie. She's just so fabulous. But now I have something else fabulous. December 1, I am very, very, very excited to announce my first book. Yes. And in this book, it's actually, oh goodness, I was grateful to be included in this. It's a book about inspirational quotes. And I share that with 30 other authors or so. And each day of 2021 will be an inspirational quote that will open up your day that each of us had contributed. We each contributed 12 quotes, and this is part of this beautiful compilation. And what's really special is that when I was asked to do this, I suddenly went, oh, it's my first book. It's my first contributing in that type of format. And I didn't know. I said, all right, well, I better go big. I better go wordy. I better go make this something that is just big. And then, as I often do, and I'm sure you do too, I got that kind of downloaded about 2:30 in the morning while you're sleeping. And that's usually when I get my inspirations, and you just had that pen and paper and write it down. But it said, no, it's not about that. It's about the inspirational quotes or the words that I live by. And that, as my clients out there, many people that have worked with me and have been with me, it's about the words I live by. And they hear me say over and over again. And I can't think of a better gift to give to you than to give you the words I live by when we're in struggle and when we're not in struggle and when we're celebrating. But the words that I turn to when there is anything going on in my life, these are the words that I shape and shift me. So what I want you to do though is put down a comment saying book or get me that, or I want it. I want that book. Any of the thing about the book, and I will send you the link to there will be a dollar launch. Well, you'll be able to get it for $1. And I want to share this with you because it is something that has changed me and it's guided me and supported me. And that's what I want to do for you. So again, reach down the box, say comment book. I want that. Or go to thepowerofthetribe.com and click on connect with us or join, and you'll see that. And then I will share you that link. So this way you can get the book as almost a gift at $1. So I'm very excited about that. And everyone, I will see you next week. And thank you for joining the Power of the Tribe Network. Love you. Bye.